Once upon a time, there was a king who ruled a peaceful kingdom. He worked hard for his people. Everyone in the kingdom was happy. The king had a wise minister who always helped him. In the king's court, many courtiers worked well. But there was one courtier named Robert who was outstanding. The king and the minister both liked Robert very much. He worked hard and cared for the people. Robert was the health officer. He made sure that everyone, rich or poor, could get medical care. No one was ever denied treatment because he couldn't afford treatment. One day, a discussion was going on in the court on the subject. What is the world? What is life? The courtiers and scholars were giving their own opinions. The minister also arrived and sat down in the back row quietly. The debate went on for quite some time. Robert spoke.
King, I will tell you the truth. The world is not real. All our senses don't experience anything. They merely imagine it. The life and the things are just imagination.
The minister shot out a question.
Is everything just imagination? Is there nothing for real?
Robert proudly announced.
That's true. Everything is imagination.
His declaration stunned everyone. No one knew how to challenge his theory. The minister opened his mouth, but the king raised his hand.
Enough,
he said calmly.
the court session is over. I don't want any more arguments today.
Though the court session ended, the minister wasn't happy. He was sipping tea in the lounge when his wife, Julie, handed him a plate of cookies and asked,
"Since you returned from court, you are very quiet. Is something wrong?"
The minister sighed.
Robert is the problem.
Julie surprised.
Are you talking about the health officer?
The minister nodded.
Yes.
Julie said.
But I heard he is very hardworking.
The minister replied.
He is. But today he said the world isn't real. Everything is just imagination.
Julie laughed.
Then why is he working so hard? For the health department? He should think everyone is healthy already.
The minister smiled.
Exactly. But the king ended the court before I could argue.
One evening, the minister went to the palace. The king said,
I need you to check if the supply of wheat, rice, and vegetables in the cities is enough. Make sure there is no shortage.
The minister replied,
Of course, Your Majesty. I will handle these matters immediately.
After discussing the kingdom's affairs, the minister said,
Your Majesty, Robert's imagination is false.
The king said,
I know, but you must prove it.
Minister said,
As you command, Your Majesty.
The minister then bowed and left for home. The minister lay in bed that night. Deep in thought, he stared at the ceiling. Julie slept beside him. He turned his back and whispered to himself,
How can I prove Robert wrong?
Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. He smiled.
I will check the cities first. See if there's enough wheat, rice, and vegetables. Just like the king asked. And report to the king. Then I will begin my mission to prove Robert wrong.
The minister began his journey, visiting the cities one by one, to check if there was enough wheat, rice, and vegetables, just as the king had ordered. Robert was in his garden, carefully planting vegetable seeds in neat rows. His children, Joseph and O'Neill, were running around. Robert paused for a moment, wiping his brow, before turning to the gardener.
Make sure to water them every morning.
He pointed to the young plants.
These vegetables need proper care to grow strong. Check the soil regularly. And make sure it's not too dry or too wet. And remember, take care of the weeds before they grow too much. We don't want them stealing nutrients.
Just then, Lisa took a tray of tea and sandwiches and placed it on the table nearby. Lisa smiled warmly and said,
Please come and have some tea.
Robert came and sat down. Lisa gave him a cup of tea. They both began to talk. After completing his visits to the cities, the minister went to the palace to deliver his report.
Your Majesty,
He began.
every city has enough food stock, and the supply is steady. There is no need to worry.
He hesitated and said,
I have a plan to prove Robert wrong about his imagination theory.
The king nodded.
What is your plan?
The minister shared his idea, and the king listened intently and smiled.
Very well.
The king said. Then the minister asked for permission to leave and went. The next day, the minister visited Robert's house. Robert welcomed him and seated him in the garden. After a while, the maid arrived with a tray of tea, almond cookies, freshly cut fruits, sandwiches, chicken rolls, and a few slices of freshly baked cake. The minister said,
"The king has decided to invite you to dinner at the palace tomorrow. Please come."
Robert smiled.
It would be my honor. I will be there.
After enjoying the tea and some pleasant conversation, the minister left. The next day, Robert arrived at the palace for dinner. The minister greeted him warmly and led him to the king. Robert bowed and greeted the king. The king invited him to sit. The minister went outside. There, he gathered a few servants and said,
"Do exactly as I said."
They nodded and hurried away. Inside, the royal chefs arranged the dinner on the dining table. Then the king and Robert entered the dining room. The royal servants served the dishes before the king. Meanwhile, the minister sat beside Robert. He said Robert to take rice, but simply moved his hand, without actually serving it.
"Please, Robert. Have some rice."
The minister said. Robert, hungry and confused, turned red with shame as he looked at his empty plate. He tried to eat, but there was nothing there. The king enjoyed the scene, barely controlling his laughter, while the chefs struggled to hide their smiles. After the dinner, Robert asked for permission to leave and left. After Robert left the palace, the king and minister laughed. When Robert reached his doorstep, he noticed the main door was open. His heart sank.
Oh God.
He whispered. He rushed inside. He quickly entered his room but found no one there.
O'Neill, Archie, Elizabeth, where are you?
He shouted, but no reply came. Panic set in as he noticed the cupboard was open, and the jewelry was gone.
I should inform the king. I'm devastated.
He ran back to the palace.
Open the door.
The guards let him in, and the minister stepped outside.
"What happened, Robert?"
Robert yelled.
Call the king. I have been robbed. I have been looted.
The king came outside.
What happened?
My wife, my kids. They are gone.
Robert exclaimed. The king said.
But you said everything is imagination. Go home and imagine your family is there.
No! My king!
Robert shouted.
I was wrong! I want my kids! I want my wife in real life, not in imagination.
The minister signaled, and the servants brought Robert's wife and kids there. Robert rushed over and hugged them tightly. Turning to the king, he said,
Your Majesty, I was wrong.
The king smiled.
Now you understand the difference between imagination and reality. That's enough.